Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're doing a garden clear out. Tell me how much you would charge in the comments for this job. Right, so this is me putting on my PPE because you look like to come for me and be like, where's your PPE? Where's your gloves? Where's your boots? Where's your this? Listen, this is the best it's going to get, okay? So don't come for me. Just don't. Right, here's me setting up the strimmer. Making sure the cords feeding out correctly. It says auto feed, but it ain't auto feeding. I have to manually do it every single time. Yeah, and that is annoying. But anyway, this is me cleaning up the concreted area down at the front. So, look at that toy dinosaur. I think I moved it. But anyway, cool. I started getting into the thick vegetation, okay? The thick vegetation. So now, I'm cleaning up as I go along, guys, because I'm not going to let all this pile up on me, and at the end, I'm having to sweep up the whole garden in one go. No, I can't do all of that. I can't. So yeah, I'm just cleaning up as I go. This was so thick, guys. It's not surface level. There's some blackberry bushes in there with some pricks, some maca, and it was not funny. I got pricked like 3 times through the gloves. So yeah, this is me just making my way through it. And I had to go in occasionally with my scissors and just cut the thick stems from the roots, because I don't know how this happened. I don't. But anyways, where there's a will, there's a way. So I just start pulling it out, cutting them up, and stuffing them in the bag. As you can see here, I've made about, I don't even know if this is a third. I've made about a third, yeah, call it a third progress, and we're starting to see the ground. How beautiful. How beautiful is this? So yeah.
You see, it is beautiful. It is beautiful to see the progress. Like, seeing progress in any area of life is always beautiful. So it is actually extremely beautiful. She said don't come for her, but it's hard to not come for her because she doesn't look like she's in the kind of kit you'd expect someone doing this work to do. Firstly, I wouldn't do this work. I would not do this work. All right. So when it comes to the pricing, we can deep dive into the pricing, definitely. But I wouldn't do this work. And if I was doing this work, I'd need to be hazmat suit up, because I don't want any prickly proclies to come through anything. Like, it's just not for me. I don't know. But as I look at this, I'm saying to myself, I'm actually deeply interested to find out what she actually did charge, because this, in my opinion, is a lot of work. And not only is it a lot of work, as she's going through the work, she's, like she said, she's using skill sets such as, I'm going to clean up as I go along so I don't have to clean it all up after. I'm now making progress. Isn't it beautiful? Like, let me know your thoughts. Would you do this kind of work? I'm just curious. I'm deeply curious. Would you do this kind of work? Let me know in the comments below, because if you wouldn't do this kind of work, you're very much similar to me. If you would do this kind of work, I'm just glad to be able to know what things could be. All right. I know someone has to do this kind of work. Someone has to do all kinds of work, but I just know I wouldn't do this kind of work. Let's get to the end, and then I'll talk a bit more on my thoughts on the pricing and where we go from there. Let's go.
I'm going in and raking up the waste and just putting the rubbish basically into piles, so it's easier for me to scoop up when I'm ready and get rid of it. I got a snack. But yeah, guys, this is me like a third of the way through, and we're starting to see the pathway now. We're actually starting to see the pathway. But guys, look at this. Oh yeah, poor me. But guys, yeah, what had happened, yeah, I had a hair appointment, so I went to go do my hair and come back. This is why there's a change of outfit. But I don't like to not complete the job when it's not my job. Do you know what I mean? You know me, I'll take years when it's me, but when it's somebody else, I'm like, nah, let me get this done. So I came back, bonnet in hand, because I'm not trying to get bush in my hair and stuff like that. But we come back for part 2.
Look, I don't know if I can come back for part 2. I wouldn't know how she did this, because she's hustling out here. Shout out to the creator. Yeah, check it out in the description. Let's jump into the pricing so I can stay on topic, right? Because again, she said don't come for me, and I don't want to come for the sister, but yeah, it's all love. So one of the things I learned a number of years ago a colleague of mine, Dan Hill, said something very powerful. He said nothing should be arbitrary. He said it was one of the most powerful lessons that he ever learned, that nothing should be arbitrary. And not only did I already resonate when he shared that with me, but I felt as though that makes sense, especially to someone who's a Bible believer. Like, it should make sense that nothing should be arbitrary. And to expand on the concept or the ideology or the definition of arbitrary is when you just make stuff up. And I think when it comes to pricing, business owners a lot of the time are in that arbitrary world. A lot of business owners have just made up their pricing. And this is why I think it's super powerful when a creator, someone who's actually a business owner out there, who's doing work, who's actually engaging in a form of labor, says to the world, or says to the internet, what should I price for this? Because what they're doing is they're giving themselves an opportunity to hear how unarbitrary they can actually make their price points, and they can make their pricing. Now, the challenge we have in these kind of discourses or this kind of conversation is a lot of people are fixed in their mindset around commodity pricing. So because of that, what they do is they just assume the price should be whatever everyone else would charge. And the reality is the price shouldn't be whatever everyone else should charge if you are offering or bringing something to the table that everyone else is not bringing or offering. And I think that slight nuance, when you mix those two ideas together, nothing should be arbitrary, and there is an opportunity for me to bring something to the table that no one else or other people are not bringing to the table. This is where you start getting to a place in your life where you can start saying to yourself, oh, I get it. Like, this is how we can make this work. This is how we can charge more. This is how we can charge less. This is why we should be in this position. This is why we should be in that position. This is what makes us award winning. And this is what just makes us like the rest of the gang. And I think when you start thinking with that mindset in your business, whatever your business is, whether it's lawn care, whether it's gardening, whether it's high level coaching, whether it's property investment, whatever your business in, development, etc., we can go down the list. But whatever your business is, when you start thinking from that perspective of nothing should be arbitrary and there's unique value I can bring to my marketplace, that's when you can start thinking about pricing in a way that can astronomically shift your game even in a single day. Now, shout out to one of my coaches, Dr. Myron Golden, who also shared once in one of the meetings I was in with him that his pricing model is to only ever charge 1/10 of the value he can substantially be aware that he's bringing to the market. So for example, if you know that clearing this garden would allow the owner of the garden to start to use their garden to grow shrubbery, which is going to generate them, let's say, £10,000 by the end of the year, right? We've now attached a monetary value to a non-monetary experience, right? Now, the moment we do that, we could say, well, then this is at least worth £10,000 over the next 12 months. And if it's at least worth £10,000 over the next 12 months, if you're using Dr. Myron Golden's pricing strategy, then you would charge, in this case, $1,000 or £1,000 being in the UK. So this is how you can have a structure that isn't arbitrary. For example, if you use a model like Dr. Myron Golden's model on pricing, and if you take advantage of what Dan Hill shares when he says nothing should be arbitrary. Now, for me, looking at a garden like that, that's my question. My big question is, where's the value? Where's the value play? What is fixing this garden going to provide for the owner of the home or the property that you're fixing it for? Now, if you're someone in property like myself, then you can actually very easily and very simply attach this to a monetary value. You can know, well, a garden looking like that is going to be deemed as a derelict garden, a bushy garden. It's a mess of a garden. And as a result, if you were trying to sell that house, or as a result, if you were attempting to rent that house, anyone buying that house would know, I need to fix the garden. I need to sort out the garden. Anyone renting that house would know, I need to fix the garden, I need to sort out the garden. And thus it becomes a problem for those people. But equally, what you can do based off that is you can say to yourself, well, hold on a minute, how much would this house rent for simply with the garden being left like that? And then segue into the second part, well, how much would the house rent for with the garden being taken care of, neatened up, clean and tidy to the nicest echelon that the young lady can take it to? When you have those two answers, you only need to multiply that by 12, or the difference of that. So let's say, for example, the house would rent out, I don't know which area this property is at all, but let's just say the house would rent out for £900 every single month with the garden looking like that. But the house would rent out for £1,300, let's be nicer, £1,200 with the garden being done up, right? So that's a difference of £300 in this fictitious example. But at £300 times 12 months, now actually becomes a lot more money. Okay, we're now talking about £3,600. Now, with that being £3,600, would it be a nightmare to charge the owner of that house, again, maybe using Dr. Myron Golden's model, £360? Would it be a nightmare as a result to charge the owner of that property for £500? Because you're now realizing, well, hold on a minute, I'm going to charge 10%, or hold on a minute, I'm going to charge 50%, 20% of the value I know this can bring. So for me, if one of my coaching clients were asking me, Samuel, how much should I price for this job? That is the framework or the frameworks I'd bring together in order to determine my pricing. I'd first say nothing should be arbitrary. Don't make it up in your head. The second thing I'd say is, well, hold on a minute. We could use this model if we'd like to, where 10% of the value we're creating, or a percent, let's use it, let's generalize it a bit more. A percent of the value we're creating should pertain to how we are going to price. And then we just got to get super clear on what the value we're creating actually is, and make sure it's something evidenced or substantial, so that it's super clear when we're actually saying to the person purchasing the service or paying for the product, this is the reason why we charge this, because this is what this is going to bring you as a result of value. If you got value from this video, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, become a part of the tribe. And side by side with that, remember, as I always say, small keys open up big doors. I tried not to come for her. I don't think I came for her. Let's see where we go from here. Good day. God bless. I'll see you on the next one. Let's go.
Small keys open big doors.